excited to be here this morning with another episode of Beyond the Break. That block is a blessing. We're going to be talking about life beyond the break. And what block are we talking about? The things that we feel as though are obstacles. I'm going to show you how to look at them and view them with an attractive thinker eye so that you can see the blessing in that particular block. And Tashette, the visual encourager, is joining us today on every episode of Beyond the Break, because together we have a lot of clarity and a lot of resources to support you in overcoming those obstacles that you feel as though are holding you back. So Tashette, if you would share some insight with us about life beyond the break, number one, so that our audience understands what Beyond the Break is all about.
Well, we started Beyond the Break, number one, because we wanted to show you that life is beyond, there is life beyond what you feel like you can't make it past. That thing that you felt broke you, there's a whole life beyond that. At the end, you know how we say there's a light at the end of the tunnel? Well, there's life at the end of the tunnel. You know, sometimes we make it out of dark positions and dark places in our lives, and then when we come out into the light, we are a butterfly. I identify with the butterfly a lot because it represents transformation. You know, it represents, you can see the processes of a butterfly and relate to it. That when you come out of your process, if you don't die in your process, there's life and more abundantly waiting for you on the other side if you don't give up, you know. So Beyond the Break is what Dr. Toni and I come together and encourage you, uplift you, transform your way of thinking, shift your perception. Dr. Toni always talks about shifting from sight to vision. You know, we help you to see things beyond what you're looking at so that we could each together go further, faster. Mama used to always say that, Dr. Toni, on the radio, go further, together we go further, faster. Mm-hmm. But we wanted to show you that there's so much more life ahead of you. You know, it is not over. Mm-hmm. You know, that thing you think you can't make it through, that thing you thought broke you was really contributing to the beauty of your outcome, which is one of the things I also think about the butterfly, is that in the cocoon where we feel like we're in a place of stuck, where we feel it's dark and isolated, where we feel like it's the hard place, it's not the prettiest place, mm-hmm. You know, that is where we are processed the most. So every time you look at the stripe of a butterfly, you see the different processes that it went into inside the cocoon, inside that dark place, inside mm-hmm. that place of stuck. Mm-hmm. You see the different processes that it went through, and it contributes to the beauty of the outcome. So it's not just gorgeous, it is so perfected and unique. And that's what you are. You are unique and perfect. You know, there was no mistake in creating you. God knew what he was doing when he called you by name. He knew your end. He knew every mistake you would make. He knew every decision you would make, yet he still called you by name. So that thing you think is blocked is actually a blessing. And can that block actually be the blessing? You know, there's nothing that can stand in the way of what's yours, because what's yours is yours and was yours from the beginning of time. You know, there's nothing you can do to even if you make a huge mistake and you think it's going to take away from your blessing, it actually adds to it, because all things work together for the good. All roads lead for your good. It really does. So welcome to Beyond the Break, you guys. This is awesome. There's life beyond the break. Let's live it powerfully.
I agree. I totally agree. When we talk about beyond the break, we're talking about beyond the heartbreak, beyond the frustration, beyond the challenge, beyond that thing that disappointed you, beyond that defining moment that took place in your life. What is life like beyond that break? And the break, you know, Tashette and I are going to share with you throughout this series of Beyond the Break how important that break is. That break has a purpose. We were talking earlier about, you know, when you know there's greatness inside of you, even if you don't know, that break reveals some things. When something breaks, something leaks out. And not only does something leak out, something can get in, but we want to talk about what leaks out, because most of the time when we break, when life breaks us or we experience a break in life, you know, we try to, we feel the break, so we call it broken, and we view it with a certain perception. And most of the time, our first response is not so wonderful response. We feel the pain of the break. We feel the heartbreak of the break. We feel the loss. Like I said, if something breaks, something leaks out, and we feel that devastation. And that's usually the physical things that happen are the things we usually pay attention to and we focus on. We feel the devastation, we experience the pain, we know what happened, how disappointing it was, and how we feel. But there's life beyond that break. And sometimes after you get through the initial shock or that initial experience of a break, if you know that there's greatness inside of you, and even if you don't know, because it's greatness inside of all of us, even if you don't know, that greatness inside of you is going to cause some responses. It's gonna do some things in your spirit without your control. We call that an involuntary response. Greatness has an involuntary response, meaning a response that you have no control over, just like your heartbeat. Your heart beating is an involuntary system that's built in. It's designed to beat without your help. And when we encounter things in life that break our heart, that try to stop our heart from functioning like it's supposed to, we have to understand that that greatness inside of us knows how to handle that. That greatness inside of us knows how to buffer you from that break. Because I can honestly say so many different defining moments in my life, but when life breaks your heart, or you have a defining moment or some disappointments or some challenges, you think you feel the full impact of that, but you really don't, because that greatness inside of you buffers and shields you from the full impact of the break. Because there's a point that we can get to in our lives, whereas we do come back from a break. And we all have experienced, if you're listening to this message right now, you've experienced a break in your life and you've come back from that break. That was greatness. That was that involuntary system already built in to help you recover without your effort.
Yes,
Have you think about it, Tisha? How many times have you been through something in your life and you knew that this was going to be the thing to take you out of here? You knew that this was it. You knew you were down for the count, and you weren't thinking about. You didn't want to. You didn't desire. You had no heart or passion to get back up. You didn't want to get back up. Has life ever tossed you something or threw the ball in your court and you was like, you know what, I'm done. I don't even really feel like dealing with this anymore. I'm done. I'm tired of fighting, or I don't want to get back up, because I know if I get back up, I got to fight some more. Has life ever tossed anything in your court, whereas you felt the break and you didn't feel like Humpty Dumpty? You didn't want all of your pieces put back together again. Back to the shed.
Yes, I mean, so many times there was different opportunities. I call them opportunities because what we think is problems, God see it as opportunities. It's an opportunity for character building. It's an opportunity for growth. It's an opportunity for exposure. You know, like you said, when you go through a breaking session or an opportunity to get to know who you really are, it really exposes who you are. You know, and sometimes it's not always an easy pill to swallow. It's not always easy to go through. You know, we're all human. We all have different emotions. We all have different response, you know, a way that we respond to life. But when you shift your perception to understand what's really going on here, and you know, you process the way you're supposed to. When you have a breaking point, you process it the way, you know, that you personally, uniquely designed to process it. And then when you're ready to pick yourself up and you understand what's really going on, you'll see that everything added to you. So life is not happening against you or to you. It's happening for you. You know, it all builds something great and amazing in you, and it's going to expose that, you know, but you have to be willing to see it. You have to be willing to look at what's going on. I see when you come upon a time where it's a heartbreak, you know, I look at it as contrast, you know, and when I say contrast, I'm an artist. And when I paint, all things matter. The light, the dark, the different colors, everything matters. So everything adds to that painting. You wouldn't appreciate the light without the darkness. You wouldn't appreciate the darkness without the light. It all balances and it all adds to this wonderful, glorious painting called you. So we do tend to go throughout life and things might disappoint us. Things might not work out the way we intend them to be. But one thing is for sure, who you are will always come to the surface. It will always bring it out. Like if you have if you get cut on your arm, when that skin breaks, it exposes what's in you. And sometimes you don't really see what's in you until you go through that breaking point. There's some people who are privileged to know who they are, who might not have had to go through a breaking point, and their life was all glitter and gold and all that stuff, and that's good for them. But if you got into a breaking point and it didn't break you, you know that it was designed to make you stronger. It was designed to give you strength, and so during those moments, man, I went through so many different moments that really broke my heart. And some of them, I questioned, was I going to make it out of this? And then here's the thing, I in that, I realized how strong I am as a woman, and is amazed at how I was able to overcome some things. But I did not overcome it by myself, that's for sure. I did not go through it by myself, that's for sure. And also attractive thinkers, that's why it's important to have certain people in your corner who knows you, who can run with you, who can help you lift you up when you can't lift up on your own. People who understands your vision, get in alignment with people who think like you, so that when you're ready to give up, you have that one person in your ear that say, oh, no, you got too much of a great gift to give up. You got too much of a big thing to let that fall. There's so much greatness in you. So I'm telling you today, attractive thinkers, there's so much greatness in you. There's so much power in you. If you are at your breaking point, do not give up. Keep going. There's so much more in store for you. There is not only just a light at the end of that tunnel, but that light got life, and that more abundantly. So I want you guys to keep going. Breaking points, again, they serve a purpose. And when you're willing to shift your perception, you're hungry for reasoning. You're hungry for strength. You're hungry for exposure. You're hungry for abundance and success. You're hungry to know who you are. You're hungry to know who God is. You will be filled. Those questions will be answered. But you have to be careful, because sometimes when you ask a question, you'll get the answer. It might not show up the way you want them to, but they will show up. But you have to have the understanding that it all serves a purpose, and it's contrast. It all paints a bigger picture. Every detail of your life is important. Everything you went through is important. Everything you're feeling, everything you're building is all necessary. It's all important. I always say that you cannot take away the process of something without taking away the reward, and the reward is way too great. So for all the things that I went through, I'm thankful for it. I've learned this year to become very grateful for every tear that dropped from my eyes, because with every tear I cried, I understand that it was processing me and building a character in me, something that I never want to take away. So I accept the process now. Before I didn't. I couldn't see, I couldn't understand. But I accept it now, and I'm thankful for it, because I see what it all added up to. So we're all a part of a bigger picture here. And if you can see that, then you can move past your breaking point into the light and into that life and that more abundantly. And you'll see who you really are, and why this thing that you thought was going to break you was only designed to make you stronger. Back to you, Dr. Toni.
Tishette, I'm listening to you share about Beyond the Break, and you said that thing, it wasn't designed to break you. I'm paraphrasing. You were talking about, it brought some things up out of you, gave birth to some things as a result of that. Talk more about that, because we hear that, attractive thinkers hear that all of the time, but sometimes they be like, well, what good could come out of this? Or how do I? Sometimes they don't know how to do that search and that sift through that defining moment and that breaking point to find the treasure. We call it treasure in your trash or message in your mess. Sometimes we call them gems. Attractive thinkers call them gems. And sometimes we don't know the process that we have to take to discover gems, because all we see is the rubble. All we see is the polished stuff that it left. all we see is the broken glass. But what is that process like? And what do you call a gym? You know, because, you know, you hear people say one man's treasure is another man's trash. But sometimes we're looking at something and it's a gem and we're calling it something else.
Well, the thing about a gem is the value we place on something. You know, you find something that's valuable, you know, and be willing when you're at a point of disappointment. When I reached that breaking point, because I once struggled with depression and I overcame depression, and I thank God, you know, for it, because it really helped me to understand myself, and it's why I am the way I am today. Is why I build my business to help people with who suffer from depression to know that they can have life outside of that. They can make it through that. You know, some people I feel like are not mentally ill, they're mentally tired. And that's why I'm here to give mental support. You know, but one of the things that I had to do was understand the importance of my time. You know, and my time is very valuable. It's something you can't get back. And it's what you are in charge of. You are in charge of your time. Nobody really can dictate what you do with your time unless you allow them to. You know, you have jobs, you have children, you have all kinds of things that you're a part of, social organizations, associations that you're a part of. But this was you're doing by your series of yes and no's. So how your time is spent stemmed from you saying yes to something or no to something. So I had to understand that there were some things in my life that I needed to say no to, and some things I needed to say yes to. But the one thing I needed to say yes to was me, was myself. I needed to say yes to myself, to giving myself the time I needed to process what it is I'm going through. And then once I understand my importance of time, I also understood my importance of energy. You know, those two things go hand in hand, because Dr. Toni, you and I were talking about this earlier, how you spend your time and your energy. You know, you can kind of probably see it in the way you spend your money, but we place more valuable on the things that we feel like it's hard to come by, such as money, where we don't value the time and the energy is spent. You know, you can spend all morning meditating and be in such a good headspace, and you know, you're encouraged and uplifted and inspired, and then you go to work and somebody comes to you with some foolishness. You have a choice to make, whether you want to spend that energy or that time taking part in something that will depreciate you and devalue you. So I had to learn to not take part in things that devalue me or depreciate me. So I had to love on me first, you know. And in loving on myself, I could be a better mother, a better daughter, a better friend, you know, a better wife. I could be a better, you know, girlfriend. I could be a better anything, you know, because everybody needs my best, you know. But I had to understand that. So in not allowing things to break me, because I'm not going to lie, it almost did. It almost broke me. It almost broke me into pieces. But you know what? I came back as a mosaic tile. I came back more valuable than I was before. I came back as this beautiful creation of art. And I had to understand that. And I had to accept myself as I am, as a beautiful butterfly who knew not to die in that process, who knew that if you're at the point where maybe you feel humiliated, maybe you're going through something that's so disappointing, you feel embarrassed, you know, humility is necessary, and it's just the start of something. You know, you're at the start of something. It's necessary, but don't worry, because you'll make it out. You'll make it through. You have to go through your process. You got to allow those processes to happen. But understanding myself was key. Understanding how I operate, what I wanted, what's my vision, what's my life goal, what's my mission statement for my life. You know, I had to understand those things. I had to sit and allow myself to take the time to heal. Some of us, we have things going on and we up and we going and we buzzing around and doing everything, going every which way, you know, but you have to allow yourself the time to heal and process so you can get understanding, you know, of what it is you're actually going through. Because a lot of times what you think it is not really that. You know, it's not really that. You think it's that thing, but when you go into the depth of something, see, on the surface, one thing presents itself. But when you go down into the depth, you got a whole different story. And it's just like so amazing. And you like, wow, really? All of that, that, all of that added to this. Oh my goodness, I never would have thought, you know. So I tend to be grateful for all the time that I spent into depression, because that time builds so much. So many things came out of that. You know, so many things came out of it. I don't blame myself anymore. Um I don't knock it. You know, it was something I just had to go through. And some of us need, you know, if you need help, get the help you need. You know, get the help you need. Allow, you know, the way that you need help, allow that to be okay. You know, get the help you need. And I could not have made it through without the help of people I had in my corner, without the help of God, but also I had to learn to help myself.
Yeah.
You know, I had to want it. You got to be hungry. You got to be thirsty for it. I had to want it. I wanted to get out. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people who want to live beyond the break. We're looking for people who want life and that more abundantly. We're looking for people who want to go, who want to get all that is theirs, who want to achieve all that they can, who want the, you know, the success of their life, who want to get everything out of whatever it is they're going through. We looking for those that's willing to pull themselves up by their bootstraps if you have to, you know. But we're here to help you. We're here to offer and extend that mental support for you. You know, you don't have to do it by yourself. And that's one thing I learned too in this, is that I did not have to do this by myself. You know, sometimes when we go through stuff, we shut out the world. And, you know, sometimes shutting out the world is necessary to getting to know yourself. But then there's some people that is necessary for your corner to help, for support. And so that's why we're here as well. But yes, I went through a lot, and I thank God. I've come to a season where I thank God for everything I went through, because I understand the reward of it is greater than the process of it.
You know, Tisha, when you say you have to take care of yourself, taking care of yourself means a lot of things when you're going through something. When you're going through something, it's just like being in intensive care. So you have to
Yes.
take special care of yourself. You have to take special care of your thoughts, of your emotions, of your energy, of the people around you. When taking special care of yourself, you have to make people qualified to be around you. In the intensive care unit, everybody can't be in there. They only allow certain people in that room because they know that you're in a critical condition. When you're going through something in life, that's critical. You're in a critical condition and you have to take care of yourself. You have to go easy on yourself. In intensive care, they don't sit up quickly. They don't respond quickly. They don't get out of the bed quickly. They don't walk across the floor or down the hallway quickly. You know, people come in, and only special kinds of people can come in an intensive care unit. And they come in they come in prepared and armed and dressed to create a barrier between them and the person who is in a critical condition. So they come in, they have to protect themselves, meaning put on masks and gloves and a robe and even covers on their shoes, because that person is in critical condition and they don't want to add to what that person has already gone through. And that's how we should be in life as well. People that come around us, they have to protect what we hear. They don't allow us to hear everything. They don't tell us everything they heard, or sometimes they don't even tell you what they heard the doctor say, because they're guarding you and protecting you from certain things so that you can heal properly. And like you said, Tisha, going further faster, you can heal quicker. You can heal quicker when you're going through something if you don't have people telling you negative things. You can heal quicker in your life when you're going through something if you don't have negative people around you telling you what you cannot do, or telling you about the mistake that you made, or telling you how you can't recover, or you need to not do that anymore. You need to move on, or you need to try something else, or do something else, or you need to stop dreaming, or you need to stop thinking so big. You can go further faster when you have the right people around you who guard you and put up a barrier between you and all that negativity. So when we talk about taking care of yourself, that's a part of taking care of yourself, making sure that the right people are around you that can support your healing, support your greatness, support you getting back up, support your strength, because you are strong. A lot of times, a strong person can feel weak when they're around weak-minded people. Your strength
That's
is
true.
contaminated. Your strength is affected when you're around people that lack that kind of strength and ability, or they're not walking in that kind of strength and ability. See, as an attractive thinker, you're different. You're cut from a different cloth. You know that there's greatness inside of you, and every single day you're working on that. You're developing that. You stand in and step into that. You live your life from that place of greatness. It doesn't mean that we don't encounter things in our lives like everybody else. We all encounter things, but we have a different eye. We see it differently. We pursue it differently. We approach it differently. And that's why we get a different outcome. Have you ever noticed the same situation can happen to two people, and one person gets this outcome and the other person gets that outcome? They have two different perspectives. When you're an
Yeah.
attractive thinker, you automatically know that all things are working together for your good. You automatically know you're going to come out. Tashet and I talk about this a lot. We know that on our down days that we're getting back up. So we don't allow our down days to keep us down and to make us feel like, because see, along with a down day comes down thoughts and down emotions and down feelings and down beliefs. So when you're down, if you allow all of that stuff to be dumped on you, it's going to take you longer to get up, or it's going to take somebody else coming along and you hearing a word or hearing something somebody's saying, or somebody physically taking you out of the bed and saying, no, there's greatness in you, you need to get up. But when you automatically know that, see, we automatically know it rains on the just and the unjust, and life is a series of ups and downs. So we've been down enough, long enough to understand that you do get back up. So when you go down, you're down there with the posture of, I'm getting back up. So I'm not going to wallow in this. I'm not going to
Yes.
stay here. I'm not going to let these negative thoughts beat me up and bully me while I'm
Yeah.
here. You got to take care of yourself in your down days, because you are getting back up. And that's what we do. That's what makes the attractive thinker movement so different, because we have a different eye. We approach life differently. We approach
Yeah.
challenges differently. We approach defining moments differently. We're always looking for the edge. We're always looking for the advantage. We're always looking for the opportunity to, like, what can I get from this? Or, why did this happen? Or we're always self-assessing, how can I shift and pivot? How can I get something from this? We don't just let things go to waste. We don't let our experiences go to waste, because we know that there's always a gem, something for us to pull from that experience, so that you come out with great substance. You don't want to just go throughout life and keep hitting these brick walls and encountering these experiences and getting beat up and bullied, and not really coming out with great substance, not learning from it, not taking something that you can use. I'm going to tell you this: if you have to go through something, you might as well get something from it. I was being interviewed in DC one time on a radio show, on a TV show, and I said, because I was asked the question by the interviewer, what made you give birth to the attractive thinker? What made you pull this out of that? And I said, if it had to hurt that bad, it had to count in my life, because I don't let things go to waste. Pain
Yes.
produces something. Pain is supposed to produce something. If a woman goes through childbirth and she goes through all of that pain and she can push out a beautiful, fantastic, and amazing bundle of joy, then that's an example of the kind of what can actually be produced from a lot of pain. Because childbirth is a lot of pain. And we endure it as women because we know that bundle of joy is coming. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're
Absolutely.
going through something in life, you want to go through it with an understanding that you're coming out of it, and you're coming out with great substance. There is joy on the other side of that break. Back to you, Tasha.
Absolutely, there's joy. And it's funny that you just brought up giving birth, because I was just getting ready to say that. We talked about that, I think, on one of the last two episodes, that when you are pregnant and you are carrying something, a great gift, and taking care of yourself, a lot of times the people who were there when you started might not be qualified to be there when you give birth to something. But it's necessary that you don't take in You know, you can't take in everything. There's some things you have to block in order to bring forth your blessing.
Yes.
You know, that you can't take in everything. So you have to definitely take care of yourself with that. And I was just like, wow, we just got finished saying that. It is so important, you know, to make sure that quality over quantity. You know, there's a lot of us who have a bunch of people surrounding us that don't need to be there. Quality over quantity. I would rather have 3 good ones than 10, you know, 2 good ones over here and 10 bad ones over there, because I know I'm giving birth to something. But one thing you said, if I had to go through that much pain, then I had to get something out of it. That is determination. Yeah. That is determination. And that's a good way to look at things. You know, when you are determined to get something out of the process, you definitely will come up rewarded. You're not going to come up empty-handed. You can't swim that deep. Yeah. See all those gems. That's good. And come out empty-handed. You're going to come out with great substance, like you said. Yeah. You know, and that's amazing to us, because a lot of us, we're not thinking about that when we're going through. We're so focused on the pain. Yeah. You know, we're so dead set. We got the lens focused right on the pain, and we end up listening to pain music, watching pain TV shows, listening to pain opinion. You know, we're feeding and feeding and feeding the pain, and what you feed, what you focus on will grow. You know, so when you are going through something and you have that determination like you had, you will find, you know, what you are looking for. You'll find that gem that's locked down deep inside of you. You'll find that gem, you know. And so when you shift your focus from the pain to the purpose, you shift it from pain to purpose, pain to power, you know, you'll find and you get to learn the process of what you're going through. You'll find your purpose. You know, you'll find the purpose of that thing you're going through. It might not be, again, what you think it is if you're thinking of it on a surface level. But if you're thinking of it on a level that is in depth, you'll see the gem and how that pain added to it. But again, we have to be able to shift our focus. We have to be able to shift what we're doing, you know, and shift how we're thinking. That is key. Shifting how you're thinking, shifting from sight to vision. You know, Dr. Toni been working on the mastermind. I said the mastermind. I must be calling it into existence. You know, she's been working on from sight to vision, from mastermind, her mastermind experience, where she was teaching people how to see, you know, the same way she taught her son how to see. You know, when we shift from sight to vision and you can see things clearly, you have the end story. You have and when I say the end story, I mean within the end story. You know, because there's a different story that we have for out there and outside, but there's a story that we have from inside. That tells a completely different story. And the processes that we have, you know, that we're going through adds to that story. And it's an amazing story. Listen, you are an amazing person. You are unique. You are powerful. You are wonderful. You know, you got a lot of things going for you. You have great things in your hand. And there's a story that's being written in you, and it's powerful and it is amazing. And, you know, we all have a greatness in us, you know, and sometimes that road to greatness, you know, sometimes it might make you encounter some things that might be disappointed. But don't get wrapped up in disappointment. Don't bathe in the disappointment. Don't wallow in the sorrow. Allow yourself to stand. You know, when you've done all you can, stand. You know, and you'll see that when the smoke clears and the dust goes away, you're still standing with such substance. And that's important. You know, we all have a lot going on. We all have a lot going for us. But if you can turn to gratitude and be grateful, and it's like, how can you be grateful for what I'm going through? I'm going through this. I didn't call for that. I don't like this. I don't want to go through that. How can I be grateful for what you're going through? When you shift from sight to vision and you can see that this is part of a bigger picture, there will come a time where you will be grateful for everything that you've gone through. There will be time where you will be thankful for all that you've been through, because you know that it made you who you are. It made you exactly who you are: strong, courageous, full of strength, you know, wonderful, wise, you know, wisdom. You know, we follow that with all of our heart. Experience exposes it. So when we going through stuff, we shift from sight to vision. We allow ourselves to get everything we can out of the situation. We see it in the depth, not just on the surface. We understand there's a bigger picture. There's a bigger story being told. That story is powerful and amazing. And then we anticipate the outcome. We anticipate that there's one day where we can emerge from that place of stuck and allow our wings to spread and fly high and wide and go soar to great heights. That's why we have, different instances that we go through that allows us to become stronger, that allows us to soar higher, So, attractive thinkers, I hope that you guys are listening in, and I hope that you are taking notes. If you find yourself at a breaking point, reach out. You can go to my website, visualencouragement.com. You can go to theattractivethinker.guru, theattractivethinker.guru. And we offer a lot of mental support for you to help you to move, live, fly, and be powerful beyond the break. There is so much life beyond the break. I want you to reach out to us and, let us know how we can support you, because you might not be mentally ill. You might not even be depressed. You just might be tired. You might be just tired of being disappointed, tired of not getting what you want out of life, tired of not having the support. When you don't have support, it's hard to build something all by yourself. Not saying you can't, because you can't. You can do that thing and all by yourself if you have to. But if you don't have to, then why? You can do much more when you have support. So I want you guys to really think beyond the break. Think of life. What does that look like beyond? When this is over, what does that look like to you? What do you imagine life could be? Can you even see beyond the break? I remember being in situations and I just could not see. Can you see beyond the break? Well, let me see if I can help paint you that picture. Imagine that when this is all over, you come out stronger. Imagine that when this is all over, you have this amazing gift that you created in this place called stuck, in this place you couldn't see yourself out of. Imagine that life being glorious. And sometimes we might not be able to get there without going through this. So don't judge yourself for going through something. Don't judge it, don't look down upon it, be grateful, understand the message, and go further, faster.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Yeah, I totally agree, Tichette. Thank you so much. That was a powerful message. I want to say hello to attractive thinker Rosa. I just saw you out there, Rosa J. Hodge. It's good to see you. Great day, the attractive thinker Fran. I saw she shared our message Beyond the Break, the episode. We're talking about today that block being a blessing. So I'm trusting that in what you just heard Tichette share and the message that we're speaking about today, that you're beginning to see some gems that you left along the way. When we talk about that block being a blessing, you have to look at it with a different eye. You can come out with great substance. Number one, the mere fact that you're here listening to this message lets me know that you've come out of something, and you also have an opportunity to pull the gems from it. There are gems that you gathered along the way. You already have them. You're not identifying them as gems. There are lessons that you've learned along the way. You came out stronger. You came out greater. A lot of times I share with my clients how to reshape and reframe their story, because a lot of times, Tichette, when people talk about their defining moments, when life broke their heart, or when they went through something that was disappointing or frustrating, they always tell what happened. What they leave out is what happened as a result of what happened. who are you now as a result of what happened? What have you acquired as a result of what happened? So let me give you an example. Instead of saying, you know, I went through the woods and I scraped my ankle and ran up the side of the mountain and I had to swim through the river and a lion and a bear was coming and da 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 da. And I, you know, when my clients come to me, they telling me this stuff and I'm waiting for the punchline. And that's it. They just tell the story what happened. And I'm waiting, I'm like, oh, this is juicy. This is good. I know, you know, they got something from this. They used it in some kind of way, or there was a blessing in the skies, you know, and I'm waiting for the punchline, and there is none. So instead of sharing your journey, that defining moment in such a way, you know, that it leads to a dead end. It's like cut off and you don't get the fruit from it. You can reshape that story and say, for example, let me speak for myself. As a result of the defining moment that I experienced, I came out stronger. I have more clarity about who I am. I know exactly what path I'm supposed to take in life. As a result of being disappointed, I now understand and I have the proper perspective of people in my life. As a result of being lied on, I discovered this and that and the other. As a result of being betrayed, or as a result of not getting the result that I wanted, I understood that there was another blessing waiting for me that I hadn't even considered. And I want you to understand that, because there's a scripture that says, eye haven't seen, ear haven't heard, neither has it entered into your heart. Think about that. Your eyes haven't seen it. Your ears haven't heard it. It hasn't even entered into your heart. So there are some things, some blessings stored up for you that you haven't even considered, that you don't even know to ask for. And these are the things that are in our journey, in our experience, in that defining moment. And it's only when you decide, you know, it's a decision. I decided to see my story in a different light. I decided not to be a victim. I decided not to be a statistic. I decided to take what I went through and make something of it. It's just that simple. It's a decision. And you only make that decision. See, that decision comes from a foundational place. That decision comes from knowing who you are. When you don't know who you are, you think like Tasha said, life is just happening to you. And you're playing that victim card. Tasha and I did a segment on the Attractive Thinker radio show when we were hosting radio for Radio 1. It was called, Are You a Victim or a Victor? That was a very popular segment there, because a lot of attractive thinkers got something from that they could use. So you want to ask yourself when you're going through something, am I playing a victim role here? Did I forget who I was? Did I forget that I was a victor? Think about it. In the boxing ring, if you know Hulk Hogan, if he gets hit, he don't lay there and say, oh my God, like I lost the fight. No, he gets up and he does what he does best, because he knows who he is. So in life, when you get knocked down or disappointed or blindsided, because you know who you are, you know the outcome. You already know the outcome. I'm going to find something that I can use in this. I'm going to be better. As a result of going through this, I became stronger. As a result of going through that, I discovered how great I really was. As a result of going through that, I now understand how to use what I've been given. Or as a result of going through that, I got an idea that will launch me forward. And had not, see, this is how you tell a story. Had not I gone through that, I wouldn't have received this. Had not I gone through that, I wouldn't be here. Had not I gone through that, I wouldn't have anything to share with you. So that's how you properly tell your story beyond the break. Back to you.
Yes. That is so amazing. And one of the things that you said is it starts with a decision. Once you decide something, it is, you know, once you decide that you are victorious, you're going to walk that route. You're going to walk that road, you know, that's being mapped out for you. You know, once you decide to stand, you can do anything, you know, once you make that decision. But it starts with that, and it do start with knowing who you are, and that's important. When you get to the breaking point of your life, those do expose defining moments. I will say that. I do know that it will have defining moments exposed to you, and you'll see all of the gems that is waiting for you, that was already inside of you. It was already there for you. You know, it's already put inside of you. All this is doing is exposing you, you know, and I'm grateful right now that we all get a chance. You know, if you're breathing, if you can hear my voice and you can hear Dr. Toni's voice and you're breathing, you were granted a brand new set of 24 hours loaded with endless possibility and unlimited resources. You know, what you do with that time and that energy is really your decision. Get to know yourself, understand your greatness, you know, find the gems in you. Don't die in your process. Don't give up. You know, you're giving birth to something. Understand the importance of it, you know, and really make the decision to fight. This is your time. It's time for you to win. You know, Dr. Toni, one of the things that you told me when I was going through depressions, you said champions, they go there, but they don't stay there. Because I asked her a question. I said, what is happiness, you know, to you? And she began to explain some things. But then when I talked to her about what I was going through, she said, well, champions, they go there. We go there too. We get down, we get knocked down sometimes, but we get up. So if you got knocked down, you get back up. You make that decision. I'm going to get back up. As long as there's life in my body, I'm going to get back up. I'm going to see myself to the top. I'm going to keep going and keep moving. So all of you out there know that you are champions. You are. If you're listening to my voice, you are champions. And you can have your heart's desire. It's right there at your fingertips, waiting for you to decide. Sometimes that's really what it takes, is a decision. You know, so yes, I totally agree with you, Dr. Toni.
Awesome. You know, attractive thinkers, great message to shed. You know, I really appreciate you sharing your heart and your experiences, being authentic, and your level of integrity when it comes down to owning who you are and not being afraid to share that. You know, in the day we're living in, you know, I know mental health is at the forefront, and it has been for a while. And so is depression and things that people deal with in life. And, you know, you come forward so freely with your story, because depression used to be a taboo. Having mental health issues used to be a taboo. But the bottom line is everybody has a mental health issue. If you have a mind, you have to manage that mind every single day. You can't let thoughts run rampant in your head and consume you and overpower you. You are in control. You know, I hear people say you are what you think, but I beg to differ with that just a little bit, because if I was my thoughts, I wouldn't know that I was thinking. See, I'm going to drop a bomb on you right now. You might want to take your pen and pencil out for this one. If I was my thoughts, then how would I know that I was thinking? So obviously, I can't be my thoughts. I'm not my thoughts, because I'm the observer of my thoughts. If I was a thought, if I was my thoughts, then I wouldn't know that I was thinking. I want you to think about that. That might take some time for you to process that. I am the observer of my thoughts. I'm not my thoughts. So when you get the clarity on that, it'll help you when you feel overwhelmed with these heavy, dark, negative, debilitating thoughts. My son and I were talking, you know, just last night, and we called them assassinating thoughts. Those thoughts that paralyze you, you know, those thoughts that take your power and put you in a position that you don't even feel worthy enough to utter a word. You don't feel worthy enough to stand behind the mic or to sing your song or paint your picture or to dance your dance or whatever it might be. You don't feel worthy enough to write your book or start your business idea because of those debilitating, assassinating thoughts. But you are not your thoughts. You get to choose your thoughts. Just like we swipe through our phone and we keep swiping to the left and we say, oh no, I don't want to look at that. I don't want to look at that. Oh yeah, I want to look at that. You have to do the same thing with your thoughts. Oh no, I don't want to think that. Can't think that. I don't like the way that thought pattern is coming out. Nope, not coming. Oh yeah, now that's a good thought right there. I want to stick with that one. That one is an empowering thought versus a disempowering thought. And that thought can get me to my goals. It'll help me throughout my day to accomplish something. You have to decide, because see, with every thought, and Tashette and I talk about this, we talk about this a lot, with thoughts come emotions and feelings. So I can tell what you're thinking by how you're feeling. When my
Mm-hmm.
clients come to me, I can tell, but I don't rush it. I don't overstep. I let them share what's on their heart first. But I can
Yeah.
tell what they're thinking by how they're feeling. If you're
Yes.
because it's impossible to feel low and be thinking high. And it's impossible to feel high and be thinking low. They work together. Thoughts and emotions and feelings work together.
Yes.
Your thoughts trigger your emotions. So if you want to stop feeling these low vibrational energies, you got to raise your vibrational thoughts. That's what I want
Yes.
to share with you, attractive thinker. Those blocks that you call blocks are really blessings. And
Yes. Yes.
it takes an attractive thinker eye to see it as a blessing and not a block. Because a block, you're not gonna approach it, you're gonna run from it, you're gonna ignore it, you're gonna turn away from it and go in the other direction. But if you see it as a blessing, you're gonna run towards it with gratitude and appreciation, and knowing that you can take that blessing, that blessing was a gift. In the
Mm-hmm.
midst of that block, that blessing was a gift, and you
Mm.
found your gift. You didn't leave your gift to rot and let the wind blow it away. You found your gift. You came out of that storm with a treasure, and that's something that you can use. And those treasures are so everlasting. You'll never be able to unwrap it fully. Every day you
Yeah.
just unwrap another piece of that treasure that you got from what you've been through. So
Mm-hmm.
tell your story in a different way. All the gifts that you have, you paid for those. You went through something to get that, and they are endless. The unwrapping process is endless. Even if you just got one gem, one gift from what you've been through, you have enough to last you a lifetime, because you will never be able to unfold it all. I just want to encourage you and inspire you that and help you to understand that there is life beyond the break. Don't ignore your break, because you paid for that. You went through something for that. And if you went through something, you want to get something out of it. It has to amount for something. It was something for you to use. You don't want to leave your gems in your journey. So stay tuned. Next Monday at 10 a.m., we'll be sharing another episode of Beyond the Break. Tashette and I. Tashette is the visual encourager. Her gift is so amazing and powerful. And you know the attractive thinker, Dr. Toni Hatton. You can find more resources and also get in touch with me. Schedule your complimentary coaching session. You need that. You need that clarity. Don't keep running around in your head and hitting brick walls and getting stuck and staying stuck. When you have resources, you have help. Wave your hand, raise your hand and say, hey, I need some help. Pick up the phone, dial the number, send me an email so you can get on my calendar so we can unravel this thing and get you unstuck so you can get moving in your life and start accomplishing those goals and desires that are in your heart. Tashette, tell our audience how they can get in touch with you.
Yes, absolutely. You can contact me on my website at www.visualencouragement.com, which is designed to encourage, enlighten, and inspire you by exposing messages of hope, wisdom, love, and perseverance using visualization in the form of metaphorical expressions, inspirational quotes, motivational videos, meaningful poetry, complemented with creative artistic design. You can go to my contact us and fill out the form information, send it to us, and get the mental support that you need.
Yes, awesome. And Tashette has a dynamite gift. She creates images that speak and grow with you. You've never heard or seen anything like it. So you definitely want to get in touch with her. And attractive thinkers, you've been following me for quite a long time. You know what the movement is all about. It's about seeing beyond what you're looking at. And once you see beyond what you're looking at, you're able to approach it differently. I support attractive thinkers who are dreamers, passionate, on fire, risk takers, who are unconventional souls. You don't go about life the conventional way. You understand that there's a calling on your life, and you're here to manifest that, create, live, and leave a legacy that continues to speak when you no longer can. Only attractive thinkers think that way and see that way. I want you to remember, visit the website. Don't forget to do that. And there's some freebies on there. Place your information in the box and there's a series of 5 videos that I really want you to watch. And there's some information at the end of these videos, some assignments that you have to do to give you that clarity that you're looking for. Visit the website at www theattractivethinker.guru. That's Guru. Theattractivethinker.guru. Remember, attractive thinker, it is not what you're going through, it's how you're viewing it. Think attractively, and we'll see you soon. Make it a great day.